This episode of D News is brought to you by the Toyota Prius. Let's lead the way.
The environment gets the shaft for sure, but now studies are starting to show that if one person starts composting, their neighbors will too. It's like an environmental arms race. Hey everybody, thanks for watching D News today. I'm Trace. Environmentalism is not sexy. We all know this. We've done D News videos that say, if I say global warming, some of you are just gonna perk up. But if I say climate change, you guys are out of here faster than radiation through an ozone hole, which probably got you back now. Environmentalist arms race probably has that same effect, right? Humans evolved to pay attention to things that affect them, and climate change is extremely difficult to get people to pay attention to simply because it's such a huge problem. But there is one way to get everyone to pay attention: buy something flashy that shows you care more than they do. When people buy things to show off their status, like a Louis Vuitton bag, the latest game console for their house, diamonds for their ears or necklaces or hands, the latest mobile phone to flash around, that's called conspicuous consumption. It's a psychological term coined by an economist in the early 20th century. We want people to think that we're classy, and we will buy things to show off that social class. Conspicuous consumption is tied to another American idiom, keeping up with the Joneses. The idea being that we don't want to be left behind in our social group. This is an evolutionary tactic. Chimps groom, they make things, they show off, and they compete. It's a normal part of primate life and also human life. The thing is, studies from Cal Berkeley, universities of Minnesota and New Mexico, and countries around the world show that there is an environmentalist version of this. It's called conspicuous conservation. This is where people gain status in their social groups by being more environmentally conscious. They buy a hybrid in the land of Hummers. They start recycling in a place where people send everything to a landfill. This is like the green version of buying a designer suit. And by the way, they're not mutually exclusive. They are inexorably connected. Many brands now know this too and design their environmentally friendly products to fit with conspicuous consumption psychology. A study from Cal Berkeley in 2012 found that the design of the Prius, for example, affects its sales. The Prius is the most successful hybrid in terms of sales, in part because it looks like a hybrid, or so they found. People want you to know that they are environmentally conscious. It's a status symbol. A study in American Psychologist looked at the emotional behaviors around environmentalism as well. And it's pretty easy for us to get swept into smaller things like recycling plastic bottles, but a denial of environmental problems like climate changes will overwhelm any beneficial impact that you might get out of it. Psychologists are working to discover more ways to help people feel good about helping the Earth. But the question is, even though we know this is part of our evolution as a social species and part of a group mentality, are we actually helping the environment by buying things like this? Some argue that this is just conspicuous consumption under a different name, which doesn't help anything, while others argue that buying greener products is good regardless of motivation. But what do you think? If we end up making the world better in order to keep up with the Joneses, is that as good as making it better just because we wanted to in the first place? Let us know down in the comments. Make sure you subscribe for more D News, and thanks for watching.
This episode of D News is brought to you by the Toyota Prius. Let's lead the way.